Welcome, citizens of the Middle Heavens. In today's data log, I wanted to discuss a question that we have received regarding our stance on our ownership by Weyland-Yutani. Before I begin today's discussions though, I wanted to make it very clear that we were established under the Three World Empire, and were eventually bought out by Weyland-Yutani a few years ago. We, the project, would like to extend to our corporate friends that everything stated in this log is completely theoretical and in no way our official stance on the company or other federations. So with that covered, let's begin. As of the 2180s, there's been a lot of hardship and even more conflict across the Middle Heavens. Everything seems to be leading to a boiling point. As such, many citizens have begun to question their loyalty to the certain federations that they belong to, as a Cold War has all but broken out between the UA and the UPP. It seems that very soon the Three World Empire might be forced to take arms and pick a side. The question we have been getting from the community though is who the project would side with given the events of all-out war. For the sake of this log, I will be making the Three World Empire and Weyland-Yutani the same entity, as throughout the Middle Heavens they essentially operate as such. Let's start with the independent core systems colonies. These colonies are the home to the powerful and the wealthy, and while this would seemingly be an advantage of them, the ICSC also have a very limited hold over their territory. While they are independent from the other federations, I think their ability to defend themselves given all-out war would be slim to none. Those living there have prospered mainly due to the relatively stable political state of this area of space. And with the Middle Heavens set to enter an amount of chaos in the coming weeks and months following the Fort Nebraska incident, I think the ICSC may struggle to hold their territory if challenged by its more powerful and militarized neighbors. Moving on to the second option, we have the Union of Progressive Peoples. However, as quickly as we may have considered joining the UPP, we just as quickly rid the notion from our minds. Don't get me wrong, they obviously have a much larger span and influence across the Middle Heavens compared to the ICSC, with help by more and more star systems questioning whether capitalism is really for them. More and more colonies are growing disillusioned with the way federations like the UA and the Three World Empire operate and look to incite rebellion, hoping to gain support from the Union. These moves aren't entirely without justification though. The Union has proven itself to be becoming a very powerful force in the Middle Heavens. Their military might is reaching degrees to be able to compete with the likes of the Three World Empire's impressive navy and the United America's stellar infantry fighting force in the form of the USCMCs, or the United States Colonial Marines Corps. However, considering the conflicts that they have been involved in as of late, we at the project are weary of the morality of their military tactics. There is evidence to show that they have had a hand in the destruction of Anchor Point Station. They have been locked in a battle with the UA that helped to decimate the colony of Tyneston, beyond repair during the Tyneston campaign. And with the uncertainty surrounding the events of the destruction of Fort Nebraska in 2183, I think, as well as many others do, that the Union has been involved in too many highly destructive operations for us to ever consider taking their side. Nor, if we reached out to them, do I think they would welcome us with open arms. The Union despises everything capitalism, and everything associated with Weyland-Yutani in specific. So given our close connection to both, I doubt that there would be anything close to a welcome wagon waiting for us if the situation ever arose. Now we reach the United Americas. Here lies the first and only really other party that we might consider joining, given further and more widespread armed conflict arising across the Middle Heavens. We have worked closely with the United Americas before, as has Weyland-Yutani and the Three World Empire, as they have tried to maintain good relationships with both. The Three World Empire and the UA even have a lot in common and have a lot of common interests and similarities. Both are capitalists, and each have backed the other in times of military and political turmoil. While the United Americas are far from perfect, they represent a very powerful and largely reasonable federation to operate under. Conditions on most UA worlds are fairly good, despite a few here and there. The problem with the UA might be how bold they have become as of late. Events such as the Lena 349 occupation have proven that the UA might be beginning to overstep its bounds across the Middle Heavens. Its heavy hand in dealing with rebellions in its territory, and its preference to take the shoot first, ask questions later approach to their large rule of the Middle Heavens is worrying to say the least. But we do maintain that they are one of the better options among the federations. The Three World Empire. While I would love to tell you that this federation is the best among them, sadly recent events have begun to tarnish its reputation. From the nuclear strikes on the Earth country of Australia, to the mysterious destruction of Hadley's Hope Colony on LV-426, the Three World Empire and likewise Weyland-Yutani may not be as squeaky clean as they appear from the outside. I myself have called the Empire home my entire life, and the project was created within its walls, and has only been able to grow to the size and have the access to the resources it does because of the Empire and because of the company. However, I can no longer look the other way, when I see more and more the shady dealings of those throughout the Empire in connection with the company. And while the Empire is a force to be reckoned with, nuclear strikes on its own territory now pose the question, is it really that safe a side to be on? Things are uncertain in the Middle Heavens. After 100 years of relative peace and exploration, humanity once again appears to be on the brink of war with itself. However, as rumours of terrifying star beasts continue to emerge, as more and more androids go rogue on their creators, and tales of fabled engineers returning to exact godly vengeance on us, I think it's time for the federations to begin to set aside our differences and to come together to create a better future and build better worlds. But with the cosmic stage set, it's unlikely we'll be getting there without the sacrifice of blood across the stars. Before you go, I wanted to let you know about the ACHERON Colonial Marketplace, the one-stop shop for all Project ACHERON merchandise. All proceeds go to fund our future endeavours under the project, so if you want to support the channel and look good doing it, pick up some ACHERON merch. But what other data logs would you like to see? If you have any ideas or have any questions to be answered, please leave them in the comments or contact me directly through the Project ACHERON Discord. If you enjoyed today's segment, please leave a like and share the video. And if you really want to support what we do here and gain access to a bunch of awesome rewards, consider becoming a Project ACHERON channel member, like Project Director Chris Dasinger and team member Raunchy. I hope to see you all here again very soon, but until then, this is the ACHERON Project signing off.